What's going on, guys? Yeah, I'm back. This time I'm reviewing the movie The Assistant, starring Julia Garner, Miguel Govoa, and Alexander Chaplin. First of all, let me tell you about my thoughts on Rotten Tomatoes and their ratings. I've always had a few questions about some of the ratings that Rotten Tomatoes gives. And I feel that some of their ratings are favoritism. If I can make any sense of that. They pick favorites, or they just pick certain movies that they have an agenda behind, or a reason that they give it that rating, instead of it just being genuinely a good or bad movie. And I think my last good example from that was The Dark Phoenix. They said that it was just so bad, but then they gave Apocalypse a way better rating. How? They tripping. But anyways, yeah. So with that being said, I'll get into that a little later on. So, The Assistant. Assistant is about a female assistant named Jane, who's a diehard assistant, eager to please, dedicated, but at the same time, even though she's the most dedicated assistant in the office, she's also the most disrespected assistant in the office. And not only that, she's being not forced, but she was picked to train a new female assistant for some reason. And it felt, I'll get to that later on too. Yeah, and so she's getting herself ready for that, and she's trained a new female assistant through this whole movie. And it just the movie is just showing how dedicated she is, and how frustrating her life is. All the work she puts in, and she doesn't get any kind of respect back. Now, that's pretty much the premise of the movie. Let's get into the positives of this movie. The positives. The only thing that I liked about this movie is the fact that they did a good depiction of how unappreciated some hard workers can be. She worked way too hard. She was cleaning up spots and things out of the boss's office that nobody else was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because there were two other assistants in the office, in the building, in that same office that she was in. That the two guy assistants that were not nearly as dedicated as she was. Nearly, not even. They were jerks. I can't say what I want to say because I'm not trying to get in trouble. They were jerks, man. Especially the little skinny one. I couldn't stand him. The little skinny one with the glass, I could not stand him. They were jerks. They still had the job. The job was not in danger at all. They just didn't care. But she cared so much that she got crapped on all the time. Now that was my part. But I like how they portrayed that. That was perfect to me. Absolutely perfect. That was the only thing that held the movie up for me for about, I'd say, to the middle of the movie. Let's get to that negatives, because there's a lot of negatives in this movie. Golly, man. The negatives, man, this movie, besides portraying how bad a hard worker can be treated, there was nothing to this movie after that. After they showed you what she's gone through, that's all it was. A scenario of, a repetitive scenario of her getting, disrespected. That's it. There was no climax to this movie. And it started to drag, and there were parts in this movie where it was just nothing but silence and her just doing stuff. And I think they were doing that for a cinematic effect, or not a cinematic effect, or just a for some kind of, they were going for some kind of effect to the audience. But for me, it was just nerve wracking. I want give me some sound. There's some parts that needed some kind of dialogue in it. Not every part. Most of the movie was silence and awkwardness. It was almost a silent film until people decided they wanted to talk. It was weird. I mean, and I've watched a lot of weird movies, but this one. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to sound, I don't know how it's going to sound to y'all, but I really wish this movie had more. Had at least one dang sex scene. I know a sex scene does not make a movie, but that would have added some kind of spice to this. This movie had no spice. I watched weird movies before that had some kind of spice, some kind of kick to it. This movie had no kick. You will easily fall asleep if you are tired after watching this movie. It drags with silence, and it leads to nothing. I'm saying right now, the movie leads to nothing. Alright? I didn't even get what was going on halfway to the end of the movie. I don't know what the hell was even going on. I was waiting for her to get some kind of revenge, something that she deserved. That never happened. It was just weird, and she was just the boss. There was a thing going on with him and the affairs he was having with women or whatever, and I guess she was such a good assistant that she tried to cover up or whatever. But that didn't have any meaning to that either. No meaning. This is probably one of the worst movies I've seen all year. And that's saying a lot. I'm done. I'm done with that. You know what this is getting? It's getting a hell nah. I haven't said hell nah in a minute. I don't think I have. But it's getting a hell nah. Damn. Not good, man. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And I'll be back.